Hi, this is Ashley, and I'm here to give you my thoughts on An Ember in the Ashes by Sabata here. And I am going to go ahead and leave a link to the spoiler-free version right here where the book is. And if you guys have not read the book, I would recommend that you just watch that one, because in this video, I'm going to get a little bit spoilery. An Ember in the Ashes is two storylines combined into one nice epic story. We follow Elias and Laia. Personally, I was more of a fan of Elias. He had a stronger story. He seemed like a stronger character. Laia was weak. She knew she was weak. She admitted she was weak. She was trying to be stronger, and she was really admirable for that. But she ran. She knew that she did wrong. But Elias was in a completely different situation where he had to put up this front, and he was really a much nicer person than he was essentially trying to portray himself as. And I just really enjoyed his storyline, because whereas Laia's storyline focused on her and trying to get her brother back and Mason and the betrayals that were happening within the resistance, Elias's storyline was a little bit more action-packed but still had the emotional punches. So I felt like his story just delivered a little bit more of what I liked, because it had the emotions and the action. So pretty much what happens with Elias is that he ends up going into the trials, which are put on by the augurs, who are saying that the emperor is going to die, we need a new emperor, and you guys are going to go ahead and fight for it. 4 of you, 4 events. First person to win 2 becomes the emperor, and the next person becomes the Blood Shrike, who is essentially the #1 enforcer. Elias's story follows them as they are fighting through these trials, and Elias as he's trying to pretty much reconcile this. So Elias does not know who his father is, which is an element that I hope we learn more in future books, which there better be future books. And his mother is the commandant, which is the head of the school at Blackcliff, where people are trained to become masks. His mother is the one that's in charge. She's a stone cold bitch, and she's horrible, and she maims her slaves, and she's just an awful person. Elias is struggling because his mother hates him. She wants him dead. Throughout the entire book, she's trying to get the other characters to kill her son. And when he's finally sentenced to death, she pretty much is just like, I'm sorry that you're dying, but I'm not, because your death is finally going to put me at peace, because I've tried to kill you so many times and you have not. What? She's awful. Elias's storyline as he's trying to fight these trials against pretty much all odds and trying to figure out what the augur meant when he said that the trials were the only way that he could end up becoming free. Slowly we learn how the augur was setting it up so that he could literally be free, so that they would think that he was dead when he really wasn't. And it was a really good, interesting plan. Then there was Laia's story, and the fact that she trusted these people so blindly was something that really bothered me the entire time. Eventually she started to doubt them and trust them less, especially after Keenan was giving her such stated answers and Keenan felt uncertain about things going on. But really, she ran into these people who were supposedly her family friends, and they didn't welcome her, and they just tried to appease her from the very beginning. But I don't know why she ever really trusted them. The situation with Keenan was a little bit strange, because Keenan seemed to be somebody who really appreciated her family but didn't want her around. But then he was just like, no, her parents would have wanted this and would have wanted the help. And I'm just really curious as to if Keenan might actually be somebody else. Laia's chapters did tend to go a little bit slower, because they tended to be more talk heavy, more her searching, more her dealing with people. Whereas Elias was dealing with people, but he was also fighting and trying to stay alive and doing all these different things all at one time. I really did enjoy the fact that they included the Ifrit and the Jinn and all the pretty much the Arabic mythological creatures. They included them into this story. It was a really interesting, because I don't feel like I see that too often in books. Ending Laia and Elias going off, we really don't know what is going on there, because it's just kind of like they just went off. This cannot be the last of the book. There must be more. There has to be more out there. There must be a next book in the series, because if this really is truly the only book in this series, then I'm actually a little bit more disappointed. It just left so much open. I felt like the only thing that they really actually resolved was the fact that Laia was being deceived and the trials are over. And that's it. I did really enjoy it, like I said, and I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. What did you think about An Ember in the Ashes? Leave your comments below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. I'm thinking that Keenan, either Keenan or Mason might be actually the Nightbringer. That would be really interesting, really weird, and would kind of answer some of the questions that I have in the book.